Hello and welcome to Dia's Funplay. In today's video, let's learn the parts of a flower and the process of pollination. A flower, also known as a bloom or a blossom, is one of the beautiful things in this natural world. A flower is a very important part of a plant, without which a plant cannot produce seeds for reproduction. Most of the flowers contain both the male and female parts together in the same flower. The male parts of the flower are the anther at the top and the filament that supports the anther. The anther and the filament are collectively called as stamen. The female parts of the flower are the stigma, style, and the ovary. All these three female parts are collectively called as the pistil. Stigma is a sticky surface receptive to pollen, where the pollen germinates. The enlarged bottom portion of the pistil contains the ovary, where the ovules are produced. The narrow region in between the stigma and the ovary is called the style. The pollen is produced in the anther, and the seeds develop in the ovary. Most of the fruits that we eat are the thickened ovary walls around the seeds. In addition to the sexual parts, flowers produce nectar and pollen for the process of pollination. Bees and insects get attracted to the sugary nectar and pollen produced by the flower. Pollen grains gets transferred from the anther to the stigma as the bee crawls around the flower for the sugary nectar. Pollination is nothing but the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. After the transfer of the pollen grains from the anther to the stigma, the pollen grains start to germinate on the stigma. This germinated pollen grain sends down a pollen tube, which releases the sex cells to fertilize the ovules in the ovary. The ovules become seeds, and the ovary wall becomes the fruit after fertilization. Now, let's have a look at the other parts of a flower. A petal is the brightly colored part of the flower. Sepal is the outer part of the flower that encloses a developing bud. This part is generally green in color and looks like a leaf. An ovule is a small part inside the ovary that contains a small cell. This later becomes a seed after fertilization. The stalk of the flower is the lowermost part of the flower. The stalk serves as a support for the other parts of the flower. Receptacle is the part of a stalk where the parts of the flowers are attached to.
Thanks for watching DS Funplay. See you in the next video. Subscribe for more videos. Why not subscribe right here, right now. Don't forget, press the bell icon. The choice is yours. DS Funplay.